Welcome to Shom Machshava on the Daf. Shir sponsor Lu Nishma Sam Yaakov Shalom Le'Abbas Yitzchok. We're holding in Bava Metziah Daf Gimel. In this Daf, we have two concepts in Halacha that have an oimik api machshava api kabbalah, and they come together in a very beautiful way. So we'll start with the first nekuda that is brought down in Amud Aleph. The Gemara brings the idea, the concept, that when you have a suffix in moment, you don't know what to do. In a case that two people deposited by one person, one put 200, one put 100, I don't know who put the extra 100. You put it down until Eliyahu comes. And the Gemara discusses why this does not apply to our Mishnah. Now, first, there's the Chidah, the famous Chidah. We spoke about it a few times in the Shurim. Mentioned here in brief, that the Chidah asks, how can you come and rely on Eliyahu? Eliyahu is a Navi. We have a din loy b'shamayim. You don't pass him based on shamayim. So how can you go and rely on Eliyahu Navi to tell me who this extra 100 belongs to? So Chidah says, well, you don't rely on Navi, loy b'shamayim, is to pass on halachas. But to go and tell me the Metziah, to tell me reality, that I do rely on a Navi. Here I'm not coming to tell me what the halach is. I'm going to tell me this extra 100, who's the person who did it? Is it a Reuven or Shimon? So this you could rely on a Navi. But there's an extra question over here. And that's a question that's brought down in the Sefer HaKaneh, the Sefer Kabbalah. And he asks, how can you come and rely on Eliyahu Navi? We know the Torah, this Torah has the rules that we have to follow. It's not going to change the Torah. And the Torah says, Al pi shnaim eidim yokum dover. You have to have two eidim. So how can Eliyahu Navi, who's Eid Echad, come and testify and tell me who owns the money? And even if he's come to tell me what the Metziah is, what the reality is, but still it's Eid Echad. So I saw brought in the Sefer Papiros Lechachma, in the name of one Rebbe, an answer to this question. And to explain it, let's first of all look at another point in this daf. The Gemara tells us that when a person is moide b'miktsas, we assume that he's not lying. And the reason he's not denying the whole thing, ki ein adam meiz ponov b'fnei ba'al chover. A person doesn't have the guts, he's not brazen to go and deny something in front of his ba'al chover and in front of his lender. And the Ramami Pano is brought down that this is a soid, that there's something here hidden that has to do with something that we know of Kabbalah. That whenever there's a Gilui of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, whenever there's a great Gilui of Hashem, so then one is not able to still do Averis. Because Ein Odom Meiz Ponov Vifnei Ba'al Chover, a person owes to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us everything we have. If a person sees HaKadosh Baruch Hu Vifnei Ponov, he can't do an Aver. That's really the side of Shivisi Hashem L'negdi Tomi. The person should always have Hashem in front of his eyes, so he won't do an Aver. As the Ramah tells us in the beginning of Shulchan Aruch, if a person is in front of a king, he will act differently. And that's what's brought down in Adam Arishan. Adam Arishan, when he heard HaKadosh Baruch Hu coming to Gan Eden, he and Chava hid from HaKadosh Baruch Hu because they were embarrassed. Ein Adam meiz ponov b'fnei ba'al chover. We find that also, that's brought down that Ha'aretz, Amos Shabbos Olav. And Ha'aretz always lies. He will not lie on Shabbos, because in Shabbos there's a Gilui Kedusha. When you have a big Gilui Kedusha, then a person doesn't have the guts to do an Avera. And the Oimek Adover is that whenever there is really a Gilui of Kedusha, something which comes from above, then all the bad is mistalik. The Koicha Sarah, all the bad, the ability for someone to lie, the ability to go and do something wrong, the ability to have a sheker, is all if you don't have a Gilui of Kedusha. When the emes comes out, when the Kedusha comes out, then there's no way of having bad in the world. So Yimele brings the Paparos to Chachma, that they asked this question to a Rebbe, what's Pshat? The Emunach Shavar Eliyahu. And he answered, Gevaldi, according to this. When Eliyahu Navi comes, there will be Gilui Kedusha in the world. All the Sfekis and all the bad is going to go away. So Reuven and Shimon will not argue anymore. It's going to be clear. The one who is lying is right away going to admit his lying. He's not going to have the azus to go and lie in front of the Gilui that will come when Eliyahu Navi comes. That's what it means over here. Not that Eliyahu Hanavi will come and testify who is the owner of this money. But when Eliyahu Hanavi is going to come, it's going to be clear right away. There will be no sfeikis, there will be no bad in the world. Nobody's going to have the houses to lie. So immediately will be mizbar right away who's the rightful owner of this money. As usual, it's kedai to see the sources inside in the Mar Mekoimis that are attached to the shir.